Okay, so yeah, so I think I'm audible and visible as well. So if you guys can hear me, just leave a thumbs up and just write in the live chat that you guys can hear me. Yeah, so I can start in that case. Okay. Okay, I forgot to do one thing. Um, so yeah, till I'm doing the checks, just let me know if I'm audible or not. Okay. Okay. So the checks are done. So let's start. Okay. Uh, oh, that's the last question. So let's start. Okay. So this is the first question. Okay. The first question is count elements with at least k greater values. Okay. It means that you're given an integer array nums of length n and an integer k. An element in nums is said to be qualified if there exist at least k elements in the array that are strictly greater than it. Okay. Return an integer denoting the total number of qualified elements in the nums. So one thing, I'll just let you visualize it. It is telling that you're given an array and you have to find the number of elements, okay, for which there are at least k elements which are strictly greater than that. Okay. So one thing that should come into your mind is that you can always sort the whole thing. Okay, you can always sort the whole thing so that you know that at any position, let's say this number, it is a qualified number. It means that all the numbers before it also will be qualified numbers. Okay, that is very much clear if it is in sorted order. Because a qualified number means that all the elements, there are k elements, minimum k elements that are strictly greater than that. Okay, so you get this basic idea of it. Now, oh man, my hair is messed up. Okay, now it looks still better. Correct? No, this is out of that. Better. Okay, so this is what the whole thing, whole question is all about. Okay, now um, I don't see like, people writing. Am I streaming from the right channel? Yeah, I'm streaming from the right channel. Okay, there are zero watches currently. Okay, that's not an issue. The guys can watch it on the after it is after stream ends. Not an issue. So this thing, I think this is clear that if one of the element qualifies, that means that all the elements before it, that is lesser than that or lesser than equal to that, they will also qualify. So the main point is what you can do is you can traverse from the back. First of all, you have to sort it, and then you can traverse from the back and check if this element qualifies or not. No, it doesn't qualify. Then check this. It qualifies. Nope, it doesn't qualify. And go on checking like this. Okay. And the moment you find an element which qualifies, you stop the whole loop. Okay. And the number of elements from the beginning to this position is your answer. Okay. So this is, let's say if this is I, then your answer would be I. The position just after it, correct? Because it's zero index. Okay. So one thing is clear that you can go on from the back to the front. Okay. Now the point is that how are you going to find out the key distinct, whether they are sorry, not distinct. I made this mistake earlier. Okay. I thought that it was distinct, but it was given that k unique elements that are greater than that. Okay. The question is a little bit crooked. It is said that at least k element in the array are strictly greater than that. So there is no distinct stuff. Okay. So that is one thing that I messed up earlier in the earlier part of the question. So if we are traversing, so what we can do is we can do a check. Okay, whenever we are at position I, we can do a check if this and this elements are same or not. Okay, if this and this elements are same, we don't do anything because Let's say this is 5 and this is also 5. Okay. So the moment we go from here to here, it doesn't seem that there is any element greater than this. Correct? So we don't do any change. Let's say this is also 5. Then also we don't do any change. But the moment there is a number which is lesser than 5, that is let's say 4. Now we know that there are three elements, all the elements towards its right. That is, there are three elements which are greater than that. So we have to check if it has exceeded k or not, or exceeded or is equal to k or not. If it is so, then this is a valid, this qualifies. If it is not so, then do the same thing again and again. Okay. In a more simplified way, the code will look somewhat like this. I'm sorting the whole thing. Then yeah, first of all, you can have a break statement that if k is equal to 0, then you don't need to do anything only. You can directly return n. Doesn't matter. Then target is equal to 0. What is this target? I'll let you know. Now you traverse from the back. You check if at any position k is lesser than equal to target. Okay. This is solely this part of the code. It is solely for the first time. This is solely for the case that k is equal to 0. Okay. No other case will satisfy for this. But if k is equal to 0, then return n. We have also made that thing also very clear. So this is a kind of an extra thing. You can remove it from your code also. Okay. It doesn't need to be there in your code. You can remove this. Not an issue. This line can be removed. Okay. This line can be removed. Then what you are doing is, if the two consecutive elements, if they are not equal, then target is equal to all the elements towards its right. That is n minus 1 elements. And then you're going to check if k is less than equal to target or not. That is, if target has exceeded or is equal to k or not. That means that you have already got the situation that you're thinking of. Okay. So that's a good thing for us. The moment you get such a number where the situation is satisfying, so you can directly return I. Okay. And if none of satisfies, then you can return 0, which means that none of the elements satisfied. Okay. So that's it. Is my video or something? Is anything lagging from your end, guys? Guys, just be a little bit responsive, otherwise I'll think that there is some issues with my live chat. Is anything lagging from your end, guys? Guys, just be a little bit responsive. Okay, I see. I get it. So you guys should have told me earlier, now that my video is lagging. Just a minute, huh? Wait for a few minutes. I'll fix this. Guys, we are from the next time, just be a little bit more interactive. Okay, so that I know that when it is lagging or when it is not. Because I think my audio was quite good. Hi. My audio was quite good, but my video was lagging, right? But now I think it should be fixed. ID. Okay, yeah, I think it's fixed. So I hope this is clear with you guys. So let's move on to the next question. The next question is maximum substrings with distinct start. I'm really amazed to see that this question was the second and third question. I felt that it was easier than the first question, and this is a very rare case scenario in Leetcode. But the last question was quite hard for me. At least for me, it was hard. I did it, but like not satisfied. I did it after the contest. I did it at 9:31 to be apt. I was ready with the solution before the contest. I made a submission on 9:29 actually. Okay, I'll just show you. Okay, leave it. Oh yeah, it came. Okay, you see this 19 minutes ago, that is the 29 one. This is all the things that you have done during the contest. So this thing, I was so close. I didn't think of like I made a mistake on int and long. Okay, I didn't make it long, so there was an overflow. So one of the test case was failing for that. Anyways, let's move on to the second question. The second question is maximum substring with distinct start. You're given a string as consisting of all of lowercase English letters only. Return an integer denoting why nowadays graph DP problems are very rare and context are they trying to shift the pattern like code forces. Graph DP, yeah, DP is quite less. I have seen this compared to other times. The second question was this is a greedy one. I don't know, man, what Leetcode is doing. I'm really a little bit aloof from the CP genre at this moment. Okay, see, this this is the test case where it failed. Okay, it is like expected 0. My output gave this. Okay, you get it? Because all the elements were same, but I made a long and int mistake, so it became like this, such a big number, but it was expected 0. So this is it. This is the case that failed. The second last case, yeah, no, the last case failed. That was the long int case. This was during the contest. So return an integer denoting the maximum number of substrings you can split S into, such that each substring starts with a distinct character. No two substrings start with the same character. A substring is a continuous, so you have to find the number of substrings such that all the substrings start with a different character. So let's say you're having a string and you want to maximize the number of different characters the substrings are starting with, right? That is what the main target is. So what you can do is, you know that the first substring will start with the first element only. Okay. Then you can find out the position where the first element is not there. Okay. And the next substring will start from that position. The position where both of them are not there, the third substring will start from that position. Correct? And so on. It is so simple. It is basically nothing but, in other words, in simpler terms, it is telling us, the question is telling us, you have to find the number of distinct alphabets that are present in the whole string, the number of distinct letters that are present in the whole string. That's it. That's it. Okay, nothing more than that. So if you're getting confused with this, then it's very simple question. It is just telling you that find out the number of distinct letters in the string. Okay. The code, just see that it's more simpler than the one that I've done earlier. Okay, the first one. It goes like it's a frequency array that I'm taking, then I'm making an answer. I'm traversing through the whole thing. I'm making the frequency array. I'm adjusting the frequency array. S of caret I minus a plus I a plus plus. I get the frequencies, and then I traverse through the frequency and I check if x is greater than 0. That means that element is present. Then answer plus plus. So the answer is basically nothing but the number of letters in the English alphabets that are present in the string. Okay, in simple words, and you have to make it distinct also. Yeah. One more thing. That should be distinct. So this is it for the second question. I'll move on with this third question. The third question, I was also amazed to see that it was also quite easy. Okay, if we look at my submissions, the second and third questions took me like hardly 2 to 3 seconds to analyze, and hardly 2 to 3 minutes to write the code down. Okay, because it was just a matter of instinct that I knew that this is going to be done like this. Okay, but the fourth question, I think they should have gone a little bit easier. Like a simple segment tree would have been more than enough, but they needed a little bit of Fenwick tree if you want to make it complex, and segment tree with some other data structures if you want to make it more simpler. But that messed up. I got messed up with that. The third question is minimum absolute distance between mirror pairs. You're given an integer array nums. A mirror pair is a pair of indices ij, such that I and j are in both nums of length, and reverse of nums of I is equal to nums of j, and and you know what the reverse is? It's just the reversing the whole all the digits in it and excluding the zeros that are leading. Okay, that is reverse of 120 is reverse of 120 should be 0 to 1. Now 0 has to be removed, so 21. Okay, so 0 to 1 is also 21. So that's it. Return the minimum absolute distance between the indices of any pair, any mirror pair. The absolute distance between indices I and j is absolute of I minus j. If no mirror pair exists, return minus 1. Okay, which means that let's say if you're having an array, what you can do is it is very similar to the two-sum problem. Okay, if you have done, obviously everyone has done the two-sum problem. It is very similar to that. You have a map out of it. Okay, and whenever you're reaching a position, okay, what are you going to check? You can check whether the reverse of this number is present earlier or not. Correct? You want to check if the reverse of this number is present earlier or not. If it is present earlier, then at which position it is present? Let's say it is present at jth position. Okay, so you know the answer is going to be the current position minus jth position. Okay. Now let's say it is present at various positions j, k, l, m. So which one would you take? The nearest one, right? Because we have to find the minimum. So you have to take the minimum, the nearest one. That is I minus the minimum, the nearest one. That is the maximum of all of them. Okay. And this is till over here. What are the numbers that I have faced? Clear? But now one more approach that you can do is instead of reversing the number and checking if it is present or not, you can directly check if that number is present earlier or not. How? Because whenever you're operating it, you can make the reverse of it. Okay. I'll let you know what I am trying to convey. But I think this is an easy one. See, I'm taking a map and answer and everything. Okay. Then I'm traversing through the whole thing. X is equal to nums y. If map dot contains key x, if map contains a value x, then I have to return whichever is minimum answer or I minus map dot get x. Why this is map dot get x? Because we have to find the position of that. Correct? Now see what I'm putting into the map. I'm putting into the map temp and I. I is the position, okay? And what is temp? Temp is the reverse of it. So instead of checking if the number is present, if the number's reverse is, I'm checking if the number is present earlier, but I'm computing the reverse and putting it in the map. Okay, you could have done the opposite thing also, it doesn't matter. Okay, like what do I mean by the opposite thing is this. Instead of checking for this, what you could have done is like, you could have made this AR of I. I think it's not AR of I. It should be nums of I, right? You could have done it like this also. Okay, this would also work. The opposite thing, that would also work. So anyways, this is very similar to the two-sum problem where you make the complement and check if it is present earlier or not. Okay, so it is very similar to that, and at the end what you can do is answer is equal to this number. This is a basically I'm considering this as an integer dot max value. I haven't written it as an integer dot max value because I sometimes mess up with the format. You know, like C++ and Java, it is quite different, this max value thing. So I sometimes mess it up. So I thought that okay, let's skip it for now. Actually, you know, like when the streams are quite not interactive, less interactive, not that interesting to stream actually. Doing new stuff. You know, like C++ and Java, it is quite different. I think there's an issue from YouTube's end or what, because my OBS and everything seems to be good. You can see that everything seems okay. There's FPS drop from my end, which is now again fixed. That's great. So I think OBS is going to the background. The moment I put this up, it's going good. No, see, it becomes 10.29. Now the moment I put it up, it becomes 30. It becomes stable again. So anyways, not an issue. Anyways, we have almost come to the end of the video. So yeah, I won't be discussing the last question because it was a good question. It was a tough question, and I can't explain this whole thing. This is basically a segment tree type of question. I have used a wavelet tree. I had to go through a lot of documentation because I usually don't like using segment tree unless it's necessary because I'm not that much of a CP guy at this moment. Okay, so let's read the problems quickly. For today's questions, we are not going to have any divisions on the hard part, okay? And we are not going to have any divisions on the easy part. And this is okay. One division over here. And so yeah, this is basically what we do in every contest. But I think today's ones will be very much fine-tuned, the rating. This is medium and this is hard. Well, the first question I feel it was on the very harder side of, or rather, let's say it was on the medium end. B and C was easy questions, and D was a hard question. A little bit unique type of rating for today's contest, but I think this is what they should have been rated. I'm really amazed to see that B and C was rated as a medium question. Maybe because they wanted to make the users a little bit, make the coders a little bit confused. But this is my final rating for it. Okay, guys, so that's it. That's it from my end. Thank you guys for joining. I know it's quite early, and now again my thing is going for 30 FPS, and I'm having a very stable connection. That's really great to see. Okay, so anyways, guys, bye, guys. We'll meet you in the next contest next week, next Sunday at 9:30 sharp. Not sharp because I'm the one who delays the streams. But yeah, almost 9:30 to 9:45. I started today at 9:32 or 34 or somewhat like that. So I was early today. So okay, yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you guys. Bye.